And good afternoon, Renetta. How are you today?
I'm great, Tanya. How are you?
Excellent. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you guys. You know, we're preparing for a wonderful weekend. The weather here in Georgia, in our neck of the woods, is incredible. We are having 70, 80-degree weather. It's been absolutely great.
Well, not only that, it's been great walking weather.
Yes. So you guys know, once again, we're always talking about our health challenge and, walking for our health. We talk about all the types of wealth, and we know that health is one of those wealths.
Absolutely. So how much walking did you do this week?
I hit an all-time new goal. In one day, I had over 12,000 steps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is my daily goal. I haven't exceeded that since that day, but we're walking every day, and we're just making sure that we're getting out there and doing something. It's all about movement. So get out there, do something. You don't have to. We're just competitive. So like I got in more steps than you did.
Yes, you did. All week I hadn't added up to
12,000. But you guys don't have to do that. But get out there and move something.
Well, even our friend Petro, who's in Atlanta, she has been exercising with us too, and putting in. She called. She said, "Hey, I walked 3 miles, and now I got to walk back." I was like, "That's not the goal. You don't walk 3 miles out and then have to walk 3 miles back." So. We all want you to join us and be a part of our Get Healthy kick. What the health? We will continue to do this all the way into the new year. So we are starting now. We're not starting later in getting healthy. So join us, join us in getting healthy and what we're going to do for 2023, because 2023 is all about me. Yes.
So remember, Team Tanya, that's vegetarian. Team Renetta,
oh yeah,
we are not.
Yeah, she is for a week though. Oh gosh. So we're going to end up having, Matt Flo is going to be joining us along with Anthony. So you guys will see them very soon. But before that, we have an awesome guest that's going to be with us today. Her name is Kayla Joshua. And I met Kayla in one of my coaching groups.
Wonderful, Tanya.
Yes.
That's paying off. That is absolutely wonderful.
And she's all the way out, I believe, in California, Nevada, way away from us. And she has been doing some awesome things, sharing information, helping people start businesses. And then she is a financial expert.
Well, we all need a financial expert in our lives. This is upcoming tax season, right? We're winding down 2022. We're going into 2023, and we're talking about different types of finances. And this show today, the Tax Man Cometh. Are you ready?
Yeah, are you ready for the tax man? All right. So, hey, Kayla, how are you today?
Hi, Kayla.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning. I'm great. Y'all done motivated me already. First of all, I love you, Tanya, but I'm Team Renetta. I gotta have some meat. And I'm going to charge up my Apple Watch. I need to get some steps in. So if y'all can do it, I definitely can do it.
Wonderful. Please, keep us updated on your progress. Tanya and I will continue to come live with us and let us know what you're doing for your health.
I will. Thank you.
Great.
So Kayla, tell everybody about what you do. At this time, tell everybody about what you do.
Well, hello. Good morning. I'm in Nevada. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Kayla Joshua. I'm the CEO and owner operator of Knowledge Solutions. What I do is help people use taxes as a tool to be able to make a sufficient amount of income. As you see, like for instance, my check back here, I made over $128K in 90 days just by partnering with One Stop Taxes. So I joined the tax company, and I already had an LLC. I was already in the financial industry doing credit restoration and things of that nature. And they taught me how to do taxes at no upfront cost. And by using that tool, I was able to, put those funds into my business for credit repair and LLC setup and things like that.
Well, awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I definitely want you to talk about you doing it in 90 days, but I'm sure you should have a class on telling people how to do it in 90 days, right?
Yes, we do. We offer a class to start to become a tax preparer. It's no upfront cost. A lot of times, people start or get into different type of businesses, MLMs and things of that nature, and they have to come up out of pocket a lot of money. Even to establish a tax business, you're looking at least 30, 40,000 down. Our whole entire business is virtual. So if someone wanted to become a tax preparer, all they would have to do is get their P10 from the IRS, and that's $30. That money doesn't go to the company. And then we basically teach you how to become a tax expert, all the tax laws, how to run your own virtual tax business in any city and state. Actually, the corporate office is located in Atlanta, Georgia.
Awesome. Hey, that's great. I had no idea, but we'll talk more about that when we get ready to close out, because I'm sure that people are, after they hear what you're going to share today, they need something, right?
Yes. And I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but I do like to be transparent. I do like to, let people know what to expect. And for this upcoming tax season, there has been many changes. A lot of things that we were receiving, we're no longer going to receive. So, for instance, the stimulus, as you know, we received the stimulus. The first one was about $1,200. Then they gave us a second one, 14, and then 6. Needless to say, there's no more stimulus. So when you did your taxes last year, the first thing your tax preparer should have asked you, or even if you did it yourself, did you receive the stimulus, the third stimulus? And the answer would have been yes or no. That is not going to be a question on this year's tax return because there is no more stimulus. So the economy, they're not trying to pump funds back into the economy because technically speaking, they feel like we're out of the pandemic.
I see.
So,
all right.
You said so what other credits? I mean, we would normally get, if we have children, we get a certain credit. Is that going away?
Yes. Also, along with the stimulus, because it was called the American Rescue Plan. So the government put it in place to basically, help the economy because, everybody losing their jobs during the pandemic, et cetera. Another thing they did was the child tax credit. So if you had a child under the age of 6, you receive $300 a month for that child. If you had a child between the age of 6 and 17, you receive $250 a month. So the typical child tax credit was $2,000 and $1,400 of it was refundable. Right. Now that $3,600 and that $3,000 are gone. It's going to go back to pre-pandemic child tax credit. So it's going to be based off that $2,000 amount, which only $1,400 of it is going to be refundable. So of course, the more money you make, the less of that $1,400 you're going to receive.
I am sure that there are going to be a lot of families, disappointed because I guess my first thought are moms with children, and they're kind of expecting that tax refund back.
Yes. So when I first got into the tax industry, like I said, because my background came from credit, coming from a lower socioeconomic environment, I thought tax season was the best. Like, ooh, we get a lot of money, etc. Yeah. But what we don't realize is taxes is the money that you get because the government is basically saying, hey, we're not giving you enough money throughout the year. So if you have 3 and 4 children, we're giving you enough cushion because you should have been paid more hourly. So that's why the more money you make, the less you get. Hence the child tax credit, the additional child tax credit, etc. So if you're high income, automatically you're going to have a higher tax refund debt. And we're really going to see that this coming tax season.
So wait a minute. We all trying to make this big money. We're trying to make this 6 figures, 7 figures. So
what happens? what happens to us? I mean, because they're, what kind of breaks? Because, our children are adults. We don't get that,
No.
anyway, no more stimulus, people are going into business for themselves, making
no more dependent. We still have a dependent care credit. So like last year, you were able to get $8,000 per for your first child that you pay for childcare, and $16,000 if you had 2 children. They still have a child care credit. So like people who do have minor children, they're able to still claim that credit, but that went back down to 0 as well. That's no longer refundable. So for people like us, I'm gonna be scared to do my own taxes, okay? Because if you're
I'm afraid to get my taxes done.
Right. If you're just an LLC or sole proprietor, you're not S Corp, you're paying 15.3% taxes on all the money that you make if it's not structured as an S Corp. So with that being said, you want to make sure before January comes, you have your business structured properly, and you want to have all your business expenses come out of your business bank account, your personal out of your personal. So when you do go to your CPA or your tax professional, they're able to differentiate which is which, so you can get as many deductions as possible. If you work from home, a certain amount of square feet, you get a write-off on that, your utilities, mileage if you drive Uber, Lyft, etc. So you do want to make sure you're doing everything that you can as a small business owner to be able to get those tax breaks, because there isn't going to be any cushion this year.
Okay, so let's go back just a little bit, Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the everyday person that is, working a job, you're saying that it's not going to look that good this year because they have nothing to basically write off. And let's think about the people like, I'm going to say some of my friends, all of their children are adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so all they have is their income, because you can't write your house off anymore, right? No home.
No.
You have no children. So
No.
what are we telling them that they really need to do to get any little tax break?
If you are energy efficient, so like say you got solar panels placed in your home, or new energy efficient window sills, anything like that, they do have a tax credit for that. But that's the only tax credit they have. Also, energy efficient cars, whether it's new or used, you can get a tax credit on that, but it does have to show that it was made in the United States, and you have to put the VIN number on the tax return as well. So that's another thing as far as huge tax credit. But for everyday people, only thing that will help you is actually it's a plus and a minus. So I don't know if you guys seen that they're providing 1099Ks for people who have Cash App or Venmo or just third-party networks. That's making everyone automatically a small business owner. So now you're a small business owner. So now you can.
Kayla, one question, because
Mm-hmm.
people are now being afraid using Cash App because they're like, oh,
Yes.
I'm going to get a 1099 from Cash App. So you're saying actually that may be a good thing.
It may be a benefit. Yes, it may be. So say if you, made clothes at home, or you sold food, etc., and you don't have an LLC set up, you're going to receive a 1099K if you made over $600. Now, okay, well, I'm self-employed now. I didn't plan on being a business owner, but the IRS just made me a business owner. So now I can set aside a small portion of my home and make that portion my office, and write off a portion of my rent or mortgage, a portion of my utilities, portion of my gas mileage if I'm delivering these tangible items, because now I am a business owner, and it's because of the rules you guys put in place. Okay. Before, a business that received money via Cash App had to make over $20,000 or have over 200 transactions. Wow. Now it's like they're hitting the smaller people, the small business owners. Right. But now, thank you, because now you just gave us a tax break.
Well, we didn't know that. And I mean, I know several people who have been, just really, really upset because Cash App started asking for information and you know,
Right.
and started asking for social. I mean, you know, it just, and everybody thought that, you know,
That's
that
gonna
it
be a
wasn't.
good bad thing.
Yeah.
Don't send me money that way. Send me
Yeah.
money
Right.
through Zelle.
Yeah, do something
Right.
else.
What I would personally do is like, say if I loaned you some money, I would say, you know, family member or friend or loan, to differentiate between the two, because you do have a right to say, no, only this amount was used for businesses. This was personal. So that way you have a paper trail, because they're going to send you that 1099-K. As soon as you do anything over $600, it's going to trigger that.
Well, we got a question here from Tanya. She said, isn't it better to not have to owe money versus getting a refund?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's all about your mentality and your mindset. You know, like I said, coming from a lower economic environment, I was excited for taxes because I thought like, oh, this was free money, but in reality, it's not. Now I'm just happy not to owe. Okay, like as long as my bottom line says zero, I am winning. I would rather get my own money, pay my own self, and pay my own taxes. I don't need the IRS to hold my money for me. You know, so that's basically what they're doing. Whenever you work a W-2 job, or even if you pay your quarterly taxes, they're holding your money for you. It's like an interest-free loan. And then at the end of the year, oh, okay, well, you made enough money to survive off of, so here's a refund. I'm going to give you some of your money back. Or you didn't. You made too much money and you don't have any dependents, so now you owe us because you didn't pay enough taxes.
Right. So then this next question, so she says, so if you're not an S Corp, you're not getting as many write-offs.
It's not the write-offs that makes a difference between a sole proprietor and an S Corp. It is the amount of tax you pay. So if you're just a sole proprietor, like we were saying, the 1099-K people, you're going to pay 15.3% tax on every dime you make because you didn't pay any taxes. You know, your employer isn't taking out a certain amount for Medicare, Social Security, etc.
Right.
But if you are S Corp, say you made $100,000, well, I want to pay myself $75,000. You're going to get taxed on that $75,000 because now you're only getting taxed on what you chose to pay yourself from your business. So that's where the huge difference comes in at.
So one of the things I recognize from a lot of the business owners or small businesses is that they get in money, but because they don't get a 1099 for it, then they don't really file that money. You know,
and that's why they came up with this whole thing with Cash App and Zelle, because of course, just like the American government, they want their piece of the pie. You're making all of this money and we don't get to tax you on it. So now that's why they're saying we want to be able to touch some of that money because you haven't been paying on it at all.
So true. So very true. So many people have not, you know, I don't know whether or not my lawn man, how he does his taxes, but
right.
You know, I pay him through Cash App or I pay him through Zelle. I think I started at Cash App and now I pay him through Zelle.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get taxed on the money. That's
right.
Right.
And I'm thinking about the guy that does my car. Same thing. So I see the change. I see where the government is going to get theirs, and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just a way for those people that have just been doing things, being a entrepreneur, soulpreneur.
Even babysitters, yeah, they probably got paid via Cash App, you know, working under the table, and now. But it does help the person who's paying them too, because if I've paid you, say, $6,000 to babysit my child, I want to be able to write that off and I paid $6,000 for childcare. So now it can match. She paid out $6,000 and this person received the other $6,000.
So you're saying what I'm hearing is that the Cash Apps, Zelle, Venmo, and all of those other devices are basically a tracking device for the IRS.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want to pay taxes, you have to money in your hand cash, and the government never knows. But all of those devices are tracking devices for IRS. So if we continue to use those, IRS can always come after us to get their money that they want.
Know what's funny and weird? Like if you even read the IRS guidelines, what a lot of people fail to do because it's this thick, drug dealers can be taxed. And with technology, they getting paid, Cash App, Zelle, etc. Now the IRS getting their hands on their money. Y'all been making money, and we haven't been getting, haven't received anything off of it. It says in the IRS paperwork that drug dealers can file taxes.
What?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. I can give you the tax code as soon as we get off of here. They can file taxes. So this is a way for them to get their hands on everyone's money. And right now Zelle hasn't been a part of this thing, but at some point they're going to have to do it as well. So that's why a lot of people switched over to Zelle.
Yes. A lot of people switched over to Zelle thinking, that, like you said, Flo, okay, now they're not tracking over here, but it's everything, and eventually everything is going to catch up.
Yes. They some of the best business owners. They can teach a lot of classes, technically speaking. They got product, they got items.
They got a demand.
Wow.
For their products.
Now think about it, even people who are in entertainment industry, they get cash. Some of them might get Cash Apps, some of them might get Zelles. Like Kimberly said, no judgment zones. The IRS wants a piece of everybody's pie.
Isn't that something? Wow.
So if you do a Cash App, like if I do a Cash App, a friend of mine wants to borrow $200, okay, because I'm loaning her $200. Now, in order for her not to show that as income, she has to pay it back to me as a loan being paid to me in order to say that she does not have that as a permanent income. So they have to show some sort of paper trail, wouldn't it?
In that situation, that person, if I was the friend you're giving the $200 to, I would ask you, can you notate it in the note section that this is a loan? That we are friends, so that way when they do get their 1099-K, it says that this was not for business purposes, or this was rent, this was for utilities, etc.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, I love this by Tanya. So this is why they're doing their best to get rid of cash.
Absolutely. So it's always a paper trail. I used to always pride myself on, people ask me for money. I don't have cash, I only have my debit card. So now it's a paper trail anywhere you go, everywhere. Yeah. A lot of banks don't even carry coins anymore. Like, they're really trying to get rid of cash.
Yeah, because there was a coin shortage, as the government says. But
right.
We don't have any coins, so you have to pay in dollars or whatever. And I think that was a way for people not to be carrying around cash with them and use their debit cards or credit cards.
You know what? Another thing I had just thought about, you guys are in Georgia, correct?
Yeah. Right.
In Georgia, this tax season, you can claim your unborn child. So it's going to be somewhere in the tax software, say you're pregnant, but you're not due until sometime in 2023. Your tax preparer will have to notate that so that you can get the child tax credit or earned income credit for that unborn child.
I'm going to be pregnant forever now. I'm always going to be pregnant.
So Sarah asked whether or not
tax time.
Low. The Zelle report to the IRS.
Not as of yet, but I would not. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not coming soon, because everyone else already jumped on the bandwagon.
Oh my gosh, everybody's laughing, Flo. You talking about you're gonna be pregnant, but
I don't want them. I just pay.
I'm not gonna have the babies.
I know, right? It's like, how are they gonna be able to prove that you're pregnant? So this should serve interest. And I do have a couple of clients in Georgia. I hope none of them say they're pregnant, because I don't know. Am I gonna have to upload proof of pregnancy? I have no.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And another credit too that we had over the last 2 years was what we call a look back credit. So because everyone lost their job because of COVID, you were able to use your AGI from 2019 to compensate for what your current AGI was in 2020 and 2021. That credit is gone as well. So no matter how much money you made, whether you made more money, less, if you chose to, you could have used your 2019 AGI, which the government said was, pre-pandemic, in order to get the maximum amount of refunds. They took that credit away as well too.
Well, there is some. Okay, so let me go with the businesses. There was the PPP that they were giving out money, right? And now I see this new thing with the ERC.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
Employee retention. Yeah, that's the employee retention credit. So that is for business owners that have W-2 employees under them. So what you're saying is, because of the pandemic, I took a loss, kind of like the PPP. I took a loss, and I need, I'm able to get a credit for each business owner that I have. But in order to get the ERC, you do have to show proof you file your quarterly taxes on your business, the Form 941. You do have to show proof you have W-2 employees. So say if you hire somebody as an independent contractor, you won't be able to count them as an employee. Right. So that's another thing that they have in place of the PPP. It's a little bit harder to get because most people don't have W-2 employees under them. But if you are able to show that proof, you can get the ERC. And it is it's not a loan. It's money directly to you. You just pay taxes on the amount that you receive.
Awesome. Well, awesome. That is great. That's great to hear. I've been hearing a lot of people. I've been getting text messages from 100 different people in reference to it. But I'm like, do y'all not know I do not have any W-2 employees? But I guess they're pulling from a list. I had another question from Pamela. She asked about seniors. Was there any benefits for someone that was over 65
and working part-time?
Yeah. So this one was, any suggestions for Social Security recipients between 65 and 80 who work part-time?
No, I would just file. They file still a regular 1040, but it converts over to a 1040 SA, which is a tax return for those who meets that age requirement. So just basically keep track of if you have any outside expenses for your job, if you're not, just W-2, and also report your retirement income and Social Security income as well. Because a lot of people are under the assumption that Social Security income is not counted. Well, it is counted if you make over a certain amount of money. So if you're still working and receiving Social Security, that income needs to be reported to the IRS, because that may decrease your Social Security and it may decrease what your tax return is, because it's an income threshold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we have Miss Law here that has kind of broken it down on all the things that you said. No more stimulus. No more. What's the 7202? I don't remember.
The 7202 is a credit that we had for small business owners last tax season and the season before that. So you can, if you got COVID, you got COVID, you can claim up to 10 days that you lost a business for yourself. If your child or any caretaker that you have received COVID, you can claim up to 50 days worth of lost income. So based on your business income, you're able to get a huge tax refund. We were seeing refunds of up to $60,000 of people claiming that 7202 credit, because all they had to say was, I had COVID, my daughter had COVID and missed 50 days worth of school, my husband had COVID. That tax credit is gone.
Wow.
So government's trying to recoup what they can get back for them 2 years.
Yes, they want some of that money back. So like, right, I don't know. They had that one TikTok that was like, ask somebody else to do it. If somebody come saying, I need a $20,000 tax refund, I don't care if you have 4 kids, ask somebody else to do it. It's not gonna happen this year. It's impossible. It's like almost impossible unless you install solar panels, or like I said, got an energy efficient car or something like that. There's no huge credits this year.
Well, Kayla, we're going to put you on hold for just a minute. We got to cut in for a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Okay.
right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, this is incredible. You guys, welcome back to Financial Sins. Our guest today, Kayla Joshua. She is giving knowledge about taxes. Her company, Knowledge Financial Solutions. You know, we're getting the answers. You guys put your questions out there so that we can ask the expert.
Yes, definitely put your questions out there. You have definitely stirred up a lot of questions today. You have been giving some awesome gems, and we really appreciate you coming on today. Again, this is Kayla Joshua. She's with Knowledge Financial Solutions out of Las Vegas. Yay. And she's been sharing with us the things that we need to know in reference to doing our taxes and getting those things ready, what we're looking forward to, and what may not be such a great thing to look forward to for 2023. So we want to continue the conversation. Kayla, thank you so much again for being with us, and everyone for making your comments. We're going to keep this conversation going because people need to be prepared.
So let's talk
yes, and
about,
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's talk more about, and I see someone just said, you know, can you use that if you didn't file? Because what about those people who didn't file last year and they're filing this year? You know, what happens? How do you account for that? You know, can you apply still the credits to that tax return?
Absolutely. You can, even if you did file and you were unaware of the look back credit, you were unaware of the COVID relief credit, the 7202, you can get your taxes amended by your personal, tax preparer, or you can amend it yourself and you can claim those credits. Now, it does take amendments a little bit longer to process, sometimes up to 16 weeks, but you can get that credit. It's not too late.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, and talking about that, because I've run into people who, especially during the pandemic, they really weren't working and they were thinking that, well, I didn't make enough money to file taxes. Is that true? Do you have to make a certain amount of money in order to file a tax return?
No. So what I was saying, even with the $600, a lot of people are unaware that if you make a minimum of $600 a year, even prior to this whole 1099K coming out, you are able to file taxes. Children can file taxes. Me personally, I started working at 14 years old, and I've been filing taxes all my life prior to even having dependents. Or if you have a college student and say you file them as a dependent, if they want to still file their own tax return and receive the taxes that they paid out, you're going to receive, the dependent care credit, but they can still receive the taxes that they paid out back out to them.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been told if my college student filed taxes, then I couldn't claim them anymore as a dependent.
It depends on who files the taxes. They have to be knowledgeable. So say, for instance, I have a son. He is 24 years old, I think. He's not in college, but say, hypothetically speaking, he was still my dependent. When he files his taxes, he would just have to let the tax preparer know that, because they ask you, can someone else claim you as a dependent? You have to tell them, yes, someone else can claim me as a dependent. If they say yes, then they won't receive their own earned income credit. They'll just receive the taxes that they personally paid out. If they worked at McDonald's or if they worked at Walmart, they can get that money back given to them. The parent who is helping them go through college can put the 1098-T on their return. They can get the dependent care credit because you're still taking care of that person. That person is still your dependent. It's how that college student's taxes is being prepared, or how that adult child taxes is being prepared.
Awesome.
Well, we certainly didn't know that. And so you're saying that even children at the age of 16,
yeah, absolutely,
at McDonald's can actually file a tax return?
Yes, you can. You can file a tax return. You just have to let your tax preparer know that I'm still going to be claimed as a dependent by my parent. Now, they're going to receive a lot back? No. Like, say they only paid $60 in taxes for the year. Then they'll get back the $60. They're only going to receive what they paid out back.
Yes. Okay.
So I just put up this one from Miss Law because this, for those people that missed us earlier and just kind of catching up for what you were talking about, she kind of recouped everything. So I made sure that I put that up so that everyone can see as we continue to move on and you all catch up. All right. So hold on a second. Oh, well, we got some more questions out here. So what I'm basically hearing is that the government is gonna get your money some kind of way.
By hook or crook, they are gonna try to get their money. Absolutely, yes. And I just thought about it. Another thing that was removed for this upcoming tax season. I don't know if you noticed when you filed your taxes. You know how you used to have to show proof of your charitable deductions if it's over a certain amount. Last year, if you were a single person, you can automatically claim up to $300 if you didn't have to document it. Or if it was a married couple, you can claim up to $600. Mm-hmm. That has been taken away. So now it goes back to the itemization. So now you have to provide the proof of, your church tithes that you paid or whatever you're contributing to any nonprofit organization. That has to go back on the Schedule K, and it has to be verified.
So are they doing that because they gave us so much money, or they gave some people so much money during the
the people that knew about it?
Right. I didn't get nothing.
Right, because think about it, the government just pumped billions of dollars into the IRS. Okay, the IRS system that they're currently used is a system still based off the 1970s. Mm-hmm. They have millions of tax returns that they are behind. And when they get these paper returns, they're going through them not electronically, by hand.
Oh, God.
So they are trying to update the IRS system. So they hired, lots of new IRS customer service agents. They hire new people to do more audits for small business owners. They hire people to do PPP fraud. So now they have to recoup some of the money back that they paid into, updating these systems and for all investigations and things that are going to take place.
So that falls on us.
Yeah, of course. It always falls on the middleman. Yeah, we always get, the bad end of it. It's either you way up here, you down here, but the people who pay always are the ones that's right in the middle. That's why, I try to make sure that I'm sharing information like this. That's why I love this podcast, because it tells people from different communities that things that, even though I know I personally weren't taught what we need to know about financial literacy. I had no education or any background in financial literacy whatsoever. My bachelor's was in criminal justice. My master's was in social work, but I was always in the business of helping people. How I learned about financial literacy is by working in a bank. I worked in a bank from the time I was first in college up until maybe about 9 or 10 years ago. And I used to see people come in that looked like me. And when I say, dressed down, had nice jewelry, etc., and say, oh, my account's negative, where's my money? I don't know. Why aren't you budgeting? But I would see people come in of other ethnicities, and they had on Payless shoes, a white t-shirt, holy pants, and they had millions of dollars in their account. And I always ask myself, where is the gap? Where is the disconnect? And I started asking my coworkers, like, what is credit? How do I become that person with that huge bank account balance? How do I become that person that gets out of the hood? What do I need to do? And I thought education was the key, but until I realized that it's about teaching yourself, mentorship, and learning that the school system isn't going to teach you what you need to know to get to where they are. Mm-hmm. They teach you enough to know how to work for them and do what they want you to do. When I say I was a professional student, like I said, associate's degree, criminal justice, emphasis in juvenile delinquency, bachelor's degree in criminal justice, master's in social work, paralegal. I am actually a paralegal. A lot of people don't know. And I just kept working so hard because I wanted to change my environment and change the environment my son grew up in since I was a teenage mom myself. And none of that mattered. None of that mattered. What mattered was when I realized that my education wasn't getting me anywhere. And the people at work who had high school diplomas made more money than me because of the color of their skin. So I had to realize that I have to teach myself and pour into myself every day. And that's why I'm so adamant about everything that I know, I share with others because no one taught me.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And, now is the time to understand that. I think that, we've spent so many years not understanding, because we didn't know, so, you can't, sometimes my dad used to say, you can't fault a person for what they don't know because people
And they
don't know
didn't.
what they don't know. And we need more people like you who are telling people what it is that they don't know. From your experience saying, I did all of this, but then I realized, right? Because there's a light bulb moment, that says, wait a minute, there's some things that you need to do individually to get you to that next level. You can't depend on someone else to take you where you want to, you need to be.
Yes, absolutely. Just like Ms. Tanya stated, we met in our mentorship class, and this is my first time even paying for mentorship. I didn't even know mentorship existed. And, I had to find somebody outside of my environment to teach me how to be a business owner, how to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know that when you are a small business owner, you can't just swipe your business credit card and business debit card everywhere you go. Because when you come to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm confused. Like, I don't know what was business expenses. I don't know what was business income. I don't know what was personal income. So I had to teach myself, okay, here's QuickBooks. You need a bookkeeper. You need an accounting. You need to manage these things. If you're going to be a small business owner, you need to run your business like a legit business. That same 8 or 10 hours a day that you gave to your employer, you need to spend that time pouring it into yourself.
Yes.
And learn how to run a business correctly.
So what tool do you use? You have a suggestion for business owners that are not keeping very good business records to use?
Yeah, I have. I use Hurdler. It's an app that tracks your mileage. It pulls the information directly from your bank account and tracks how much income was business income, expenses, and you can also upload your receipts. Also, QuickBooks. So my bookkeeper, she balances my business bank account. Keep in mind, I said business bank account. You separate business from personal in order to make sure that I'm getting all the deductions that's humanly possible. So when tax time does come, I'm not cheating myself, in that manner.
Okay. And for those people that mix their business with their personal, what should they do like right now? Because this is the end
Stop.
of the year.
Just stop.
Stop. And we're in December. So you need to go through your bank account statements and actually for January, this is how much income I have for business. This is how much expenses I have for business. For February, break down each one. So when it is time to do your taxes, you have what is called your profit and loss statement. You know how much money your business has made. You know how much expenses your business has. How can you have a goal and know how much you want to obtain when you don't even know where you're at? So you have to start from scratch with basic budgeting. And it's sad to say a lot of us don't basic budget, even our personal bills. We don't know how much we have coming in and pay our bills, say every 2 weeks or semi-monthly or monthly. Even if you're on a fixed income, you still need to budget because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you don't have it.
Absolutely. So I want to give everyone that's out there that's still listening to us today with Kayla, if you all have any questions at all in reference to something that you may be doing right or wrong with your business or personal, maybe Kayla can give you a tip to help you correct what you may be doing or what there is to look forward to for 2023 when we get ready to file our taxes. And even though I'm using the term 2023 and I'm doing a lot of affordable healthcare applications right now for those that want insurance, they have to predict their income for 2023. And I'm finding that challenging because the more that everybody looks forward to making more money in the next year, right? And so as they begin to make more money or think that they'll make more money this year, their insurance and the tax credit that they receive for their health care gets lower. And so and then trying to put them in a plan that's reasonable gets a little, it's not going to be, you're going to probably have to pay $300. You are, 50 years old and you're going to make this kind of money. So how do I really help them predict their income? Yeah, I mean,
I would say like we did with the bank statement and budgeting, just get an average of how much they made in 2022 for 2023. And I would use those numbers. Of course, we always want to make more money. That is the goal. But I would at least start with that basis. And when I say I can second that motion, okay, I'm not even receiving Medicare. I just quit my 9 to 5 in October. So when I had to seek insurance, I almost fainted. Like, woo, I have to pay how much? $500 just for me? And what if I add my daughter? That's $700. This is a tax write-off, right? Okay, I had to double check. Okay, but it is scary and it is so expensive. I just don't even have the words for it. So like it really goes to show it's so important to know how much money you're bringing in and how much is going out, what your overhead is.
Absolutely. Because people are able to make certain deductions and it asks you those questions and most folks don't know. But one of my posts this week, because I was coming out of the hospital, was just to encourage business owners to have some sort of health insurance. Just got to put that plug in today. You got to have some sort.
No, I agree.
Not having
a lot of people don't know if you have kidney failure, you can qualify for Medicare. You don't have to be of age. And I personally have kidney failure. If you're at a certain percentage, you can qualify for Medicare. And I would rather pay insurance than to not have it because insurance is so important. People don't realize how much insurance is important. People don't realize how much credit is important until you actually need it. And it is just, I don't have the words for it. You have to have something in place.
Kayla, so you talked about credit. I know that you work with credit repair as well. What are some quick tips you can give people who are, working on their credit, who want to have, better credit, who want to build their credit? Because, we know the interest rates and all of that, they're based on what that credit score is and what that looks like.
The first thing I would do is first thing I would say is first you have to know what's on your credit. We are scared to pull our credit. We're scared to look at our credit. Even though people talk about Credit Karma is so taboo because it gives you a Vantage score rate instead of a FICO. That's a whole nother story. But it does show you what is on your credit and take the score aside. It tells you how many negative items you have. You need to actually pull your credit reports. You can pull them for free on freeannualcreditreport.com and look at all three. Credit reporting agencies are privately owned companies. They're not government agencies. So each one is going to have a different credit score. Each one are going to have different items on it. So just go over it because there might be things on there that are incorrect and you want to reach out and let them know this is not my debt, this is not my item, this is not my address, this is not my employer. I'm no longer married to John Doe. Those little things will boost your score drastically, but you have to take the time to look at it and evaluate what is on there.
So let me ask you this. So there are two types of credit scores. So you said the one that's still the most important is the FICO score.
Right. FICO, which stands for Fair Isaac credit reporting. So FICO is usually what they use when you go purchase a home or make, huge purchases, things like that. People don't know you have an auto credit score. When you apply for life insurance, a lot of times they check your credit score. Like people don't realize how important it is. Now, Credit Karma shows a Vantage score, which is the different scoring models. So there are different types of models of credit scoring. They even came out with a new model called FICO 10. So to be on the safe side, just check it, Make sure there's no old addresses on there, old phone numbers, old employment information, and get rid of that stuff. That stuff alone, even without even getting rid of any of the negative items, automatically boosts your score. And that's a hidden secret a lot of people fail to tell people because they're so focused on trying to, beat money, and get money out of people instead of helping people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we finish up and wrap up now, I'm going to make sure we have everyone's questions answered. So I'm going to start kind of at the bottom. And this last one that we just got in, what's the name of the free annual report?
The credit report, probably.
Yeah, it should be freeannualcreditreport.com.
Right. Free, yeah. And you're able to get that from all of your...
Yes, it will show you all 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
And then someone asked about the PPP loan for people that weren't able to get it last year. What about this year?
Honestly, I don't deal with PPP loans, but what people fail to realize, those loans were going on way before the pandemic. They always had SBA loans. You can go on the SBA.gov website and you'll be able to apply for any type of small business loan at any time. If PPP itself is still going on, that I don't know, but you can, if you are running a business and you have W-2 employees, apply for the ERC.
Okay. How many years back can we go to file or amend a tax return?
You can go back at least the last 3 years, but you do have to have the documentation on what income or changes that you are amending. They're not going to just let you amend the return and just like change all the numbers just like that. You have to show proof. So even if you're amending it for the COVID relief credit, you're going to have to show documentation that I did have COVID, and these are the date ranges that I had.
All right. Well, I think
question before we go. When we have something on our credit that needs to be cleaned up, how can we go about doing that?
You can either do it yourself, so you can research what item it is and say, contact the credit bureau, write something in writing stating, hello, to whom it may concern. This is not my item. And you would have to contact all 3 credit bureaus and name the item, the account number, send in proof of identity. So your name, something with your address on it, like the W-2 or something like that. And by law, based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they have 30 days to respond. They're either going to respond and say, yes, we do say that this is your item, or they're going to respond and say, no, this isn't. And you can ask to show proof that, I want to say, if you're saying this is mine, show me proof that this is actually my debt. So, or you can hire someone like myself or any other person that deals with credit restoration, and they can do the letters for you and specify directly to each individual account that shows derogatory on your credit to get the best results.
Okay, thank you.
You have just blown our minds today. Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. It's like in January, we're going to have you come back because people did, we're trying to get everyone prepared for 2023. We might as well start the year off and let people hear this again. This was some awesome information, and we thank you so much for being here. And for everyone that is a fan, even if you're a new fan or an old fan of Caleb, I want you to put a 1 in the chat now. Go ahead and just put
I know there got to be some ones on here.
Put Caleb or a 1 so that we can see you, so that she can see you. And we thank you so much for joining us today. This was an awesome, awesome day. And we want to thank you for being with us. Thank you for being here. My name is Tanya Scott Pilcher. I'm the insurance professor. We're helping people get their insurance license and into the financial industry so that you can live a life of luxury and freedom. And as always, I want to say, live life like there's no tomorrow.
I'm Renetta Gardner. I am your career coach. Whether you are changing jobs, establishing a new career, or transitioning into your own entrepreneurship career, I am your girl, your career coach. And as I always say, make it a great day. Flo, take us out.
Hey, this is Mad Flow. I'm not crazy, but I am mad about making a difference for the life of others through financial literacy. And Kayla did a great job on that this afternoon. You guys tune into us next week. Every Friday, 1 p.m. on the spot. Catch us up on our Facebook as well. ATR Black Media, we are here. We're giving it to you. We gave it to you strong today. She's going to come back in January and do it again. Thank y'all.
Tell us how to reach you, Kayla.
Thank you. And yes, my name is Kayla Josh. I'm the owner and CEO operator of Knowledge Solutions. You can reach me at joinkayla.com. My business phone number is 725-777-6048. Or you can reach me via email at knowledgefinancialsolutions.com. And thank you, ladies, for having me. I love this right here. So I will definitely be tuning in, and I can't wait till January. And Miss Tanya, you need to help me with this insurance stuff, because I need to know how to be able to change people's lives in that aspect as well.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great one.
Have a
you
good
as well.
Bye.
like that.